PSA, especially for the young ladies out there. There are groups of people, especially men, that are going to gas stations and places like that, and they are approaching young ladies' vehicles. They are wanting you to roll down your window, or they want you to smell something. They either have like a bunch of flowers, or they have some type of perfume that they've sprayed on a card that they want you to smell. Do not smell it. Don't roll your window down. Do not do it. There have been cases where young ladies have done that, and they are getting abducted.
Fucking hell, not this shit again. First of all, shame on you. You're a nurse. Shame on you for spreading moral panics like this one. This is not happening, y'all. This is absolutely not a thing. This is a moral panic. It is a complete fabrication. I covered a lot of these conspiracy theory moral panics before the election, and I'm sure that they are even more rampant now after. But I've mostly been avoiding this kind of stuff, but this came up in my FYP and I had to cover it because it's just complete bullshit fear-mongering, and it's extremely irresponsible of people to spread this nonsense. I know why they do it. I have an entire playlist dedicated to debunking these moral panics. Now, there's a number of them that are like this one. Be careful, ladies. You're at risk of being abducted from the gas station. This mysterious ring of sex traffickers want to snatch random white women from gas stations. They are going to put something on the handle at the gas pump, or they're going to put a leaf on your windshield, or a water bottle on the ground. Or in this case, they're going to come up to your car with a card. I don't know why I should put card in quotes, with perfume on it, and ask you to smell it. And somehow they're going to use that to abduct you and sex traffic you. Like this is not happening. These things are not happening. In fact, this particular one here that this nurse, and if you go look at the rest of her account, it's understandable why she is spreading disinformation like this, spreading fear-mongering conspiracy theories like this. You bother to examine what she's saying at all. It's very clearly not credible. Always some mystery substance that if you barely touch it or get a whiff of it, that will somehow incapacitate you, and these men will snatch you away in broad daylight. Some people try to say that this mysterious substance they put on your car door handle must be fentanyl, and I've already debunked that thoroughly. Fentanyl is not absorbed through your skin like that. So human traffickers are not putting mystery substances on the gas station pump handle. How do they know who the next person is who's going to come along and use it? Again, no such mystery substance exists, but let's play into your conspiracy theory for a second. How do you know that the next person to come along after they slather the gas station pump in whatever substance that smells like gasoline or bleach, but it must be fentanyl? How do you know that the next person to come along is not going to be some 250-pound burly dude? So like, there's cameras, y'all, there's cameras. And the same thing in this version, except it's no longer something that you're touching and absorbing through your skin. Again, not a thing. In this version, it is a card that you are smelling that is going to somehow incapacitate you. She put card in quotes, but I think she meant to put perfume in quotes. What do you think is on that card that you're going to sniff and then like pass out, and they're going to pull you out through your car window and sex traffic you in broad daylight where there are cameras? Again, shame on this nurse for spreading this disinformation. What she is doing is perpetuating a conspiracy theory that has been going around since at least 2017. I mean, here's this news article from 2018 from St. George, Utah. No, there aren't perfume salesmen using chloroform to kidnap people. The best I can tell, this moral panic originates with a Facebook post from 2017 that went very viral. The moral panic goes like this. Kidnappers, sex traffickers, they are hanging around near malls and gas stations and other places, and they are waiting to ask women to sniff a piece of paper that's laced with drugs in the guise of perfume testing. Could you smell this card? It's got some perfume on it. Then you're going to get chloroformed and you're going to pass out and they're going to kidnap you. This is not happening. This has never been happening. This has been repeatedly debunked since 2017. This is a moral panic, and as I have discussed many, many times, the root of this kind of a moral panic in the United States is always white supremacy. In so many of these moral panics that I've covered, the man is either Black or Latino. The woman claims that a man is following her around Target, and he must be wanting to kidnap her, like from the detergent aisle. You know, when it's a man just trying to live his life and shop in the same store as you. I covered one where a white woman was sure that her daughter was going to be kidnapped out of Old Navy. You know, right in the middle of the store, was snatched out of Old Navy because her daughter was blonde, pretty, and blue-eyed. These kinds of moral panics very much originate in the South, where the protected white woman is supposed to fear all black men out and about. It uses the trope of the damsel in distress and centers every white woman as the object of every man's desires, especially black and Latino men. Always the protected white woman who's going to be kidnapped and sex trafficked, except that that's not how sex trafficking happens. It does not happen via stranger abduction at all in the United States. That simply is not a thing. Definitely doesn't happen to white women. Most of the victims of sex trafficking are young women of color. They're often just aging out of the foster care system, and they are trafficked by a man that they know, their boyfriend or a friend or even a parent. This moral panic is exceptionally harmful in multiple different ways. One, it harnesses white supremacy and the patriarchy together to control women, to keep us constantly fearful of people in our community, especially anybody who's not a white man. We are meant to be afraid of them, be suspicious of them. It makes white women lean into the patriarchy because we need to be protected from all of these kidnappers. I mean, it also does so while flattering our ego. We are so desirable. White women and white children are so desirable. Strangers want to snatch us off the street. It uses main character syndrome to flatter our ego in order to continue to oppress us. But it also keeps us disconnected from people in the community, especially people of color, because the patriarchy and white supremacy, white men, don't want women to ally with people of color. They want to make us suspicious of them, and they want to make people of color afraid that white women are going to freak out and put them in danger, make false accusations against them. Absolutely a way to pit two different groups who are being harmed by the patriarchy and white supremacy to keep us from allying with each other. And it absolutely is a way to fracture community. These kind of immoral panics allow people to justify their racism against innocent strangers outliving their lives in public. Every black man, every Latino man is suspicious. Everyone is now seen as a potential sex trafficker of white women. It allows white men in particular, but also racist white women, to justify violence against people of color. How many black men in the South were lynched for just trying to live their lives, but a white woman was like, he was after me. She had main character syndrome. She thought she was incredibly desirable, and every man must be a beast. Every black man must be a beast out to get her. Would be willing to ruin their whole lives just to have and possess her, right? But also it obscures who the real victims are of sex trafficking. It diverts law enforcement resources, public attention away from the real victims of trafficking. Again, mostly young, vulnerable women of color, many of whom have just aged out of the foster care system or are young runaways who are trafficked by a friend. They are trafficked by somebody that they know, their boyfriend, a relative. Resources and public attention are wasted on these moral panics and obscure who the real victims are and deny them help. Absolutely, women are trafficked in the United States, but it is never through something like this. It simply does not happen. Moral panics keep white women in a state of perpetual fear, but also like an element of perpetual self-indulgence. You see every man around you as somebody who might want to possess you. You become the main character in everybody else's story. Everybody around you must be thinking about you. Everybody around you must be desiring you. Everybody around you, every action that they take is now oriented on you, and you are suspicious of them. Moral panics like this one reinforce the patriarchy. They reinforce white supremacy. They actively put at risk the lives of people of color, and they are used to control women. And just as importantly, they keep resources and public focus diverted from the true victims of human trafficking, and they keep us ignorant of the ways that human trafficking actually happens, which makes more and more women vulnerable to falling into it. Nobody's going to chloroform you at a gas station or a mall and abduct you. Every time you see one of these public service announcements or I was almost abducted stories, please remember that these are moral panics. They are not based in fact. They are based in paranoia. Much like the satanic panic, they are tools of social control. They obscure who the real victims are. They create fear and distrust. They risk lives. Shame on this nurse for spreading this bullshit. You're wearing scrubs and speaking as a healthcare provider about issues like these. You are presenting yourself as an authority. It's beyond irresponsible of you to make content like that. Could not find a single news story, even though you claim that this has happened to multiple women. All of the people in those comments were saying things like, stay strapped, ladies. In an era where immigrants in our country are facing increased violence from the state, white supremacists are emboldened. These conspiracy theories are more dangerous than ever.